and I think we should be live, but I'm just going to check my audio just so we don't have any problems like last time. So I think everything's good. I will double check that in a second, but hello and welcome back to the GT Sport League here at Gavra Racing, and we're here for round 6. We are 2/3 of the way through this championship, the final championship on this game before we venture over onto GT7. We've got some pretty interesting cars at a pretty interesting track tonight. It's the Alpine VGT race at Tokyo Expressway South Inner Loop. We've gone around this track once before in Group 3, I think in Season 2, but it makes a return 3 seasons later. This track located in Japan, it technically isn't real, but these roads are real. It's kind of based around the expressways in Tokyo, so it's not completely made up, I don't think. There is some realism to this track, whereas you've got like Sardinia, which is a real place. The track is completely made up. Playducci though in qualifying, he's currently first out on track, first in the championship, and will put it on provisional pole, being the first driver to set a lap. And the benchmark time is 1 minute 54.5. Can Toussaint beat it? No, he can't. He's 1.6 seconds slower. Aston goes up into second, and Wolfie in fourth. Topster 1.2 seconds off the championship leader. Tiger goes into third, with Bonnie and Ted setting in lap times, putting in them in 6th and 7th. Pierre up to the line, goes into 4th place. What about Tim? He won't be improving. Finn hits the wall on the final corner as Manuel, his teammate, has a nice toe through the final corner. Can't challenge though for pole position at the minute. Goes into 8th place. Finn though, despite hitting the wall, does go up into 2nd place. So he does have some pace in these Alpines, which is an interesting concept we've seen throughout this season. Some drivers have good pace in some cars, and some drivers have pace in other cars. As Piero goes a little bit deep into the docks hairpin, or kind of a chicane in a way. It's really easy to pick up penalties down at that sector. Most noticeably about these cars, A, they're not real, B, they're Alpines, and they have movable aerodynamic parts. Look at the rear of Playducci's car as he goes into the hairpin. Watch it, keep an eye out for it. There it is. Rear flaps extend to obviously slow the car down a little bit quicker, meaning you can send something, well, you can send it down the inside of someone. These cars do have really powerful brakes. Can someone in the chat let me know if my audio is working, because my Twitch is still loading up on my phone. It's just a bit slow today. Hope everything was all sounding good. My microphone is on this time. Let's have a look if anyone is going to be setting personal best. Piero's into the pits. We'll be aborting this lap. I think everyone's going to start this one on the mediums. We have all 4 tyre compounds available, the super soft, mediums and hards. Only the mediums are mandatory though in the race. Dutch extends his advantage in provisional pole. Thank you, Ben Roberts, for just confirming that my mic is working. We've got Finn stopped on the exit of the pit lane. He could be waiting for his teammate to come through. We've got Topster, Bonnie and Ted all improving. Topster going up into 3rd place, a 2nd off provisional pole position. Tiger and Bonnie Evil going through turn 1 now. Looks like Finn's just waiting for his teammate to slipstream him in towards or throughout the lap. Tim goes up into 2nd place, 8.5 tenths off Playducci. Nathan Smith, are you racing? I don't know who you're on about, Big Beanie. Whether that's someone's name here. My first name is Nathan, but my surname is certainly not Smith. So if there is a Nathan Smith racing, then good luck. I don't know who you are based off your PlayStation name. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in early on in the stream. We've got 12 minutes left in qualifying. We've started usual 18-minute qualifying, kept it from last season. We started off in season 1 with only 12 minutes, increased it to 15 minutes, and from then we added increased it up to 18 minutes just to get a few more extra laps in, especially as some of these tracks have added tyre wear. We're running time 7 times 1 for these cars. Which is a new concept we've brought into this season. We've got different cars each week, and we've got different tyre and fuel settings to promote different strategies, but also to suit the different cars, because some might burn tyres or go through its fuel a lot quicker or slower than others. So your championship leader rounds the final corner, currently set at 1 minute 54.4, which is the fastest time so far. Can he beat it again? Not quite. But we do have some fast drivers behind him. One of them is Toussaint up to the line. He doesn't improve. What about Aston? Doesn't improve. Topster and Tiger up next. No, they don't improve. Tiger does. Goes up into third place. I was going to say second place, but was beaten by Bonneville, who is 6.5 tenths behind his former teammate. Tiger getting ahead of Tim. Crucial for his championship contentions, I think, is the best way of putting it. Looks like Dutchy storming away with this one once again, but the battle continues to roar on for second place, with a lot of the drivers fairly close to each other on points. If my Discord would work, I could get the points up for you. Pierro's put in a really good lap time, and that's 6 tenths off his teammate, who are leading the Constructors' Championships, but heading over to the drivers quickly. Play Dutchy on 162 points, leads the field away. Manuel is 1,000th of Play Dutchy. Wow. I'm sure he'd be kicking himself at that. But what an impressive lap from him. The Austrian goes up into second place. It's the front row of the grid. Might have had slipstream from his teammate. They appear to have reversed the roles for the 5th lap. It's now going to be Finn's chance to set a good lap. But heading over to the championship standings before someone beats Dutchy's time and goes provisional pole. Tiger Assassin is in second with 97.5 points, with Finn on 95 points, so 2.5 points behind Tiger, who missed round 5. We had was it round 4? I think it was round 4. Round 4 we had 3 circuits. We had Sardinia A, B and C, for which we had reduced points based off the usual point system re-1, which is why a few drivers are on 0.5 points. Aston improves, goes up into 9th place. Tiger Assassin gets ahead of Pierro only by 100th. We've got some incredibly close times tonight, most notably the one out in top. Looks like the two teammates, Finn and Manuel, have swapped positions at the hairpin, so it's unlikely Manuel's going to improve. But our eyes turn to the German, who's currently in 7th place, 3rd in the championship, 2 points only ahead of Tim on 93. So there's only 4.5 points between 2nd and 4th. Toussaint's only 9 points behind Tim. So it's still all to play for 2nd place, unless Dutchy misses the rest of the season. I don't see anyone else winning. Finn hits the wall on the outside on the final corner. That's going to compromise his run, up to the line. Goes up into 6th place, only ahead of Tim and 800ths behind Bonneville. We've got 8.5 minutes left to go in qualifying. That's enough for a few more laps. But it's now Manuel's time to put the foot down in the slipstream of his teammate and see what he can do on this lap. And if he can find 1,000th, just 1,000th, to beat this man, Play Dutchy, who is, I think, on another lap. Look at that. The game says it all. He's purple through the middle sector as he makes his way through the technical S's section, which leads into the final corner. Does he hit the wall? He keeps it within the limits. It looks clean from what we've seen. Up to the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does, by 2 tenths, and goes 2 tenths clear of Manuel, who's now going to need to find a little bit more if he's to set the purple time. Pushing his teammate through the tunnel, I'd probably suggesting they're going to pit this lap. The good thing about the pit lane is it's halfway round the circuit, which means when you leave the pit lane, as these guys will, I'm going to guess, show for us. No, they're actually still on laps. They're almost racing in qualifying, but I don't know if you saw it on the left, that is the pit lane. And most notably, you leave the pit lane going up the hill into the S's, which leads into the final set of corners, which there's a fair bit of traffic as at the minute. Looks like Piero is on a flying lap up to the line. He's slowed down, pulled over to the left hand side. Bon Evil's going through. Topser, Toussaint and Tim will go through. It doesn't look like he's going to want people getting the slipstream. Tim goes up into 5th place with that lap time. It's 51.1. And he's got a Toussaint right behind him, who is in slipstream range. We are running real slipstream, which is about 7 or 8 tenths. There's a Manuel in the pits. As a majority of the drivers making their way through the docks section. A double right-hander, technically a triple right-hander, followed by a quick left here. Really easy to run over the white line and pick up a 5/10 penalty. Tim brushes the wall, the sparks illuminating the track. As are the lights on the front of these cars and overseeing the circuit. As the tunnel lights the way. An interesting section, this tunnel in these cars, because it is flat out. Slipstream and dirty air, it could be challenging to go for a move here. Although it's straight, you can see Tiger's just about making that corner. Obviously he's going to put in minimal steering effort as possible to keep the speed up, but we should see a few overtakes, especially at this corner. Toussaint's late on the brakes. No, he's not. He's going into he's not going into the pits. He's just letting everyone else go through. In the meantime, though, you saw it pop up in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Dutchy improves even more and set to 1 minute 54.2 without slipstream. Topster making his way through the final sector. He's only got one corner to go before the run up to the line. Looks like the back end stepped out a little bit on him through the final corner. He's 2.5 tenths off Finn in 8th place. Can he improve and make his way higher up the grid? Yes, he can. Goes up into 3rd place, 600th, ahead of Tiger Assassin, who's just starting his lap now. Wolfie improves, goes to 12th place, and closes the gap to his teammate, who's gone a little bit wide at turn 1. Might have just been letting Bon Evil go through there. Finn and Manuel continue to work together to try and knock Dutchy off pole position. Looks like it's Manuel, the one lifting off into the hairpin. Finn, his teammate, currently in 8th place. What can he do? His personal best is, I cannot see it on the right hand side for some reason. It's reset his lap times. But it's a second off play Dutchy, so it's probably a 1 minute. We can work it out quickly. It's a 1 minute 55.312, I think. But who cares? We'll see if he's improving. We'll see it at the end anyway. He's hit the wall at the exit of the penultimate corner. That's definitely going to cost him maybe 2, 3, 4 tenths. It's all about momentum around this track and carrying as much speed through the corners as you can. This track famously known for hosting the qualifying for the Olympics, and it's good enough for 3rd place, 4 tenths off his teammate. You just question yourself whether there's more time to find, having had made the mistake. Tiger getting blue flags, but the blue flags in this game are a little bit weird in qualifying. Could be an indication that his teammate Toussaint is improving. Tiger's down, Toussaint's down as well, and he's in 10th place. This is not what he'd be hoping for, running in a high position in the championship. Tiger lifts off to let his teammate go through. He's done his job and given him the slipstream. Aston improves, goes into 9th place, or stays in 9th place, but it closes the gap to Bon Evil, extends it to Toussaint. What can he do though? Up to the line. Is he improving? I don't think he is. He's not improving. He's 5 tenths off his personal best with only 3 minutes left to go. Time is running out. Wolfie's not improving. Ted's starting a lap. Who is up next? There are 2 drivers. One of them's Piero. If we ride on board, we can see the other one. It's Atim, who is on an outlap. So it is going to be Piero, the next driver, to set a lap, competitive or not. We'll have to wait and see. Brushes the barrier on the outside. Once again, you can see the sparks flying off the outside wall. Up to the line for Piero. He doesn't improve. We've seen this a lot recently. Well, this season, we've seen a lot of drivers not improving on their final laps in qualifying. I know this isn't technically their final one. Looks like Dutchy's preparing himself for a lap. He brushes the wall alongside the pit lane. Let's keep an eye on Manuel and Finn. Looks like Manuel's been the one who was given the tow in the first half of the track. He's now, his teammates backed off to let the Austrian go through. His target times are 1 minute 54.2. He's 3/10 off it at the minute. Doesn't improve on this lap, neither does Finn. Starting their final laps in qualifying. Everyone who is coming across the line now will be on their final lap. Aston's in for the super soft. I thought everyone was on mediums, but I was wrong. Aston going for the super soft tyre, trying something different. All the tyres are available, but mediums are mandatory. Coming up the pits now in 9th place, 10th and a half ahead of Toussaint. He's making his way through the final corner. He's got himself a bit of clean air, maybe he's preferring the clean air rather than the slipstream, or the dirty air, in fact, through the end of the first sector and the final sector. And he improves by 2.5 tenths, but he only goes up into 9th place, less than a tenth ahead of Aston F1. A lot of drivers not improving. What about Tim and Tobster, the two CrowdStrike teammates? Tobster is on an outlap. Tim closely behind, possibly in slipstream range. Piero in the background hits the wall. Can Tim put himself higher than 7th place? No, he can't. Improves. Look at that, 100th behind Tiger Assassin, who's in 6th place. 600ths behind Tobster, who's 300ths behind Piero, who's 800ths behind Finn. Now that is a close grid. Tokyo Expressway has delivered in the past. There's nothing to say it won't deliver again. Finn and Manuel finishing in 2nd and 3rd place last week in Laguna Seca. They're currently 2nd and 3rd place here tonight in qualifying as they make their way around the final corner for the final time in quali. Can Finn put himself on the front row of the grid ahead of his teammate, ahead of Dutchy? No, he can't. And it's good so far for those two. It's 2nd and 3rd place. Can anyone beat them? Oh, Dutchy can beat them. He goes even quicker than the rest of the field. It's a 1 minute 54.2. Absolutely blistering lap time. What about Toussaint? He'll be the next driver to cross the line. He's 2.5 tenths down through the middle sector. It's going to have to be the best final sector of his life. He's gone wide and he's hit the wall. These cars do have a severe amount of understeer. Not the best aerodynamically built, and I think he's backed off on his lap. Who is next on the list? I'm trying to find that train. Who knew a train would be so hard to find? Bonivel's one of them. Hits the wall on the outside like so many drivers have done tonight. But can he improve and promote himself higher than 8th place? The checkered flag is being waved. No, he can't. Aston and Tiger. Tiger can't. Aston can. Goes up into 8th place on the super soft tyres. Piero, Tim, Tobster making their way through the S's section. What can Ted do though? With a 1.3 second penalty, won't be improving. Can Tim get any higher than 7th place? Just misses out. 4,000ths behind Tiger Assassin. And Wolfie will be the last soul to cross the line. Does have damage though, so he won't be improving. Once again, Play Dutchy claims another pole position this season, and it's going to be Manuel to join him on the front row of the grid, similarly in Italy, but the roles have been reversed. Finn in 3rd, Pierre in 4th, Tobster in 5th. I can't remember the rest. I think it's Tiger in 6th, Tim in 7th, Aston in 8th, Bonnie in 9th, Toussaint in 10th, Ted in 11th, and Wolfie in 12th. Webstons and Dan unfortunately couldn't make it for tonight's race. The cars let me start that again. The cars closely connected to each other on the grid here at Tokyo Expressway. 16 corners, 4.08 miles long, and we've got 30 laps tonight. It's lights out and away we go in the Alpine VGTs. Manuel's off to a really good start off the line. He's alongside Play Dutchy going in towards turn 1. Dutchy though has the inside line. Can Manuel swoop this round the outside? Finn looking to try and follow him through. They're pretty much single file towards the back. Wolfie on the inside of his teammate in the battle for 11th place. Manuel though tucks in behind Play Dutchy's slipstream and will get the extra boost he needs down the straight. The two teammates of Ted and Wolfie going wheel to wheel in the background as well. Manuel looking to try and send one on the inside, backs out of that move. Piero's late on the brakes and he's kind of barged his way through on the inside. They're 4 wide. Manuel being Tobster. Tim up into 3rd place for the Finnish driver. Toussaint and Tigers battling in the background as well. The two Brits going wheel to wheel. And Toussaint gets ahead. Tiger drops down in towards 9th place. Tim ahead of Manuel. Piero keeping 2nd place in the end. Aston wheel to wheel with Finn, who's really dropped down to 7th place. 6th place now as he gets ahead of Aston. Now they're still going to go wheel to wheel into the tunnel. Aston decides to back out and get into the slipstream. Wolfie rounds out the grid halfway through the opening lap. Piero in the slipstream of his teammate. I think it's quite effective in these cars with a long back straight. Is anyone going to go for a move? We've got a few drivers hitting the wall, the sparks flying, illuminating the outside of the track. Here goes Tim to the inside aggressively, diving it on on Piero. Sorry, Manuel might try and follow him through and repay the favour from turn 2. Piero and Tim going side by side as they make their way up the hill through the final sector for the first time this evening. It's Tim on the inside of Piero. They're already losing big time to Play Dutchy. Manuel's going to follow him through on the inside, get up, back up into a podium position. Piero's going to try an alternate line to get back ahead, but couldn't quite make it stick. Tigers dropped down to 9th place, Bonnie down into 10th. Wolfie taking up the back of the grid. Dutchy crosses the line with a 2nd advantage to Tim in 2nd and Manuel in 3rd. Piero under pressure from Tobster, who could be looking for a move in towards turn 1, but he's not close enough to go for anything. The gap opening up to 1.2 seconds, and some might be fearing Dutchy's just going to pull away with this one, but Tim's going to do his best to stop that. Manuel, though, says otherwise. He pulls alongside the Finnish driver and ahead, going into the braking zone. You can see the aerodynamic parts extending to help these cars slow down. Tobster on the inside of Piero through the triple right-hander. Couldn't quite make it stick. I think that was Toussaint getting ahead of Aston. Tiger might try and volley him through on the outside. Can he make this stick? Does he have the grip to go around the outside? Aston losing positions left, right and centre. I think that was Wolfie hitting the wall once again in the background. He could have damage. He's dropped a long way behind his teammate in 12th place, but will still be scoring 1 point if it was to finish as it is. As the cars make their way through the tunnel for the 2nd time tonight. Tim in 3rd place will be trying to put Manuel under pressure. Finn trying to put Tobster under pressure. You can see a beautiful camera angle following the rear of the cars. Tim sends one to the inside. Tobster on the inside of Piero. Can Tim get the move done? Yes, he can. Tobster on the inside of Piero. Finn trying to get involved as well. They're temporarily 3 wide. Piero and Tobster making a little bit of wheel banging contact. I think that's Finn flashing his lights as they go up the hill to start the S's section. Piero leads the battle for 4th place. Tim leads the battle for 2nd with Manuel closely in pursuit. As these cars just look so beautiful in the night, especially with the liveries that these drivers have made. They all go so well together. It's an absolutely beautiful sight to see. It's especially beautiful when they're going wheel to wheel. Manuel can't quite make a move in towards turn 1. What about Finn on Tobster, who's closer to Tobster than Tobster is to Piero. Let's ride on board with Finn. You can see how much he's not really gaining because Tobster's also in the slipstream, but is still gaining nevertheless. Is he going to go for a move to the inside? The door's left open. He's late on the brakes. He sends it to the inside. Tobster though has it covered. Finn can't quite get it done. Meanwhile, Tim and Manuel, it's the same livery. Tim, Finn and Manuel in the same livery. I do apologise. I do make that mistake quite a lot. Tim and Finn, Woody, Wolfie, Ted as well. Get confused with everyone. Someone who I don't get confused with is Play Dutchy. Often in this position with that number next to his name. Leads the grid 3 laps into this race. Finn and Tobster though going wheel to wheel through the tunnel. Left followed by a right and then another left followed by another right before the hairpin. Tobster ahead for now in Piero's slipstream, but Finn putting him under pressure. What about Tim and Manuel? They're going to be going wheel to wheel. No, not quite. Finn doesn't decide to go for anything, nor does Tiger or Toussaint. Topster though on Piero. Where did that come from? As Piero could now be under pressure from Finn in the background. Topster now finds himself in 4th place. 2.5 seconds is the gap that Dutchy has out in front. 4.2 seconds ahead of this battle for 4th place, which is going off to a really good start. Amazing overtakes in the early phase of this race. Sparks flying off from one of the front two. That was either Tim or Manuel, not too sure which one it was. Toussaint and Tiger now trying to work their way through the grid, currently running in 7th and 8th, pulling Bonnie and Aston along with them. Tim will be doing his best to try and defend from Manuel, maybe work with Manuel to close down the 2.5 second gap that Played Dutchies picks up early on in this race. 4 laps into a 30 lap race. Piero pulls alongside Topster, who defends the middle of the track, makes it awkward for Finn. There's not enough room to go through wide when you position your car like they're doing here. Piero trying to go on the inside, Finn trying to work something round the outside. Topster's run a little bit deep though. Piero sees the gap on the inside, he goes for it. Comes the outside though for the second half of the chicane, can't quite make it stick, and has to settle in for 5th place for now. I think that was Tiger Assassin hitting the outside wall. So he's got a 2.5 second gap to Bonnie Evil behind. It's a British 7, 8, 9, 10 with the 2 Irish drivers of Ted and Wolfie bringing up the field. Wolfie dropping for almost 5 seconds behind his teammate. Topster though going wheel to wheel with Piero as they make their way through the tunnel. Finn's going to try and follow Topster through and go round the outside. Oh, Piero! What a beautiful move. I'm not sure what happened to Piero. I think he's backed off of that one. Now runs in 6th place, 6-7 tenths behind Finn. And the herd is catching up. The British Army is joining the back of the battle for 4th place. They're trying to book themselves on the next flight to the podium, which is separated by 2.5 seconds. A similar gap to the one that Dutchy has out in front, but mistakes can still be made. And there is plenty of time for this race to be flipped on its head. Dutchy though leads them across the field. We're 1/6 of the way into the race and we've finished lap 4, on to start lap 5. You can see the marshal ready with the checkered flag for when we end lap 30 and crown the winner of this race. Finn now up into 4th place ahead of Topster. Piero dropping just over a second behind. He's going to be vulnerable to Toussaint and Tiger as he's not in the slipstream of the cars in front. Manuel bump drafting Tim as they make their way through the one of the straights in towards turn 2. Maybe they're trying to work together to catch up to the championship leader leading this race. Tim now in 2nd place after starting relatively lower than we're usually seeing him in qualifying. Hits the wall on the outside, that's going to compromise his line. Manuel though, he's thinking the long game. He's thinking, you know what, I'm not going to race you here and now, because there's still a chance either of us could win this race or finish higher than 2nd and 3rd. Let's work together to catch up to Play Dutchy. Either that, or he's waiting to send one here at the hairpin. Let's see what decision he makes. Tim goes slightly defensive to the inside, but Manuel doesn't challenge him. Does Topster challenge Finn? No, not quite. Toussaint is going to try and challenge Piero. Maybe Tiger's going to challenge his own teammate as they make their way through the hairpin. Nothing wrong against going for a move on your teammate. Decides better of it. The gap out in front, stabilising at 2.8 seconds. It's been like that for a while now. I'm sure if Manuel feels like he can go quicker, he will overtake, but the pressure will then be on his shoulders to close down the gap. If there's someone still watching in the chat, can you still confirm if we've got 1080p? I've only just thought of that now because I was having a little bit of streaming and uploading issues early on in the week. I could only get 360 when uploading a video, which then rendered into 1080, but I just want to double check we are still in 1080. I don't want you guys counting pixels, we should be counting the overtakes. Here's another one with Toussaint on the inside of Piero in the battle for 6th place. There's a little bit of wheel banging halfway through the right there, triple right-handers. Tiger Assassin's looking hungry, he's not eaten in 3 days. I'm sure another position would be enough to fill his stomach. Currently in 8th place, trying to hunt down Piero, but doesn't look like he can do anything just yet. Tim ahead of Manuel, but he's not got the best of runs down the straight. I think he got a snap of understeer through the right hander. The little kink will get an on board of no one yet, because no one's making their way through that part of the track. We've got a close battle for 5th place on, Finn ahead of Topster, but then we've got a nice close battle for 6th place with Toussaint ahead of Tiger. I think Tiger got the move done on Piero down at the hairpin, who's now dropped into 8th place. And there's now has Bon Evil right behind him on track. 3 seconds now is the gap out in front. Dutchy's been able to extend it by 2/10 since the last time we checked. As Bon Evil brushes the wall on the outside, you can see the orange sparks on the outside of the barrier. So as the cars make contact, not a huge scrape, but might cost him half a tenth. Could be a crucial half a tenth. Speaking of half a tenth, it looks like Toussaint's got less than a tenth of his time penalty, which I think he picked up down at the dock section, the one that Dutchy's approaching now. A set of corners that are really easy to pick up a penalty, because the white lines are the limits, but it's just so easy to push and cut them. Man, I think that was Timmy actually hitting the wall on the outside. Someone in the background hitting the wall as well. I think that was Finn, who's now going to be under pressure from Topster, who balls up alongside his fellow German through the tunnel. It's a blue car against a yellow car, but which colour will come out on top? They're still going to go wheel to wheel as they make their way through the tunnel. Topster, I think he's lifting off. He's taking a wider line to tuck back into the slipstream without losing too much speed. But is he going to go for anything into the hairpin? He's right behind the fellow Alpine. He doesn't send one to the inside. What about anyone behind? Tiger, Toussaint, Piero. Piero's going to go for it on Tiger Assassin. He's hit Toussaint on the inside. Where I couldn't quite see where Piero went. I think he backed off to let him go through, but that's going to allow Tiger Assassin now to pull up alongside the Frenchman into the technical S's section. Who's going to come out on top? Piero on the inside. Tiger's going to try and hold this around the outside, becomes the inside for the next corner. Piero though has the inside covered, and Tiger ultimately hits the wall on the outside, compromising his run. Piero's went a little bit wide though through the final corner. Tiger has to take avoiding action. Bonnie's going to try and capitalise and follow Tiger through. Piero going from 8th to 9th, losing 2 positions as he was temporarily in 7th place. Drops down behind Bon Evil. And there's a little bit of a gap forming between Tiger and Toussaint. It is only 7/10. They can probably close that fairly quickly. Manuel almost pushing Tim through the docks section. Topster closely behind Finn. We've kind of got individual battles now starting to form. We've got this huge train for 6th place consisting of 5 drivers. It could become the battle for 4th place if Toussaint's been able to pull an extra 3/10 out of his hat and get within the slipstream range, ultimately pull everyone along with him. Not what he would want to do for his chances of moving up the championship, but it looks like he's doing exactly that. Topster and Finn have extended the gap by about 5/10 actually, so they might have made a mistake. Here goes Bon Evil and Tiger Assassin. We're going to ride on board with the Alpine. Is Tiger going to... Tiger slightly compromised by Toussaint's run. He's hit the back of him. There's contact between these guys. What about Pierre? Maybe going to send one on the inside? No, not yet. Finn a little bit loose on the exit of the hairpin. These guys all going single file for now, trying to work together to catch up to Topster. 1.7 seconds is the gap that he has to Toussaint. Play Duchy, your championship leader, with a 3.8 second advantage out in front. Tim and Manuel continue to work together in second and third place to try and close down that gap to the Dutchman out in front. Finn and Topster, they've been going wheel to wheel, not all the time, but they have been going at it in this battle for fourth place, and they haven't been costing themselves time to Tiger and Toussaint behind, who could be doing a driver swap. Tiger pulls up alongside his teammate, lets him go through. That move looked a bit easy, but they're going to have to be keeping an eye on Bonneville behind in 9th place, maybe even Piero in 9th. Sorry, Bonnie in 8th, Piero in 9th. Because these two aren't teammates, and they're not teammates with the two cars in front of them either, so they're definitely not going to be working together when we get to lap 25 or so. A tenth separating Tim and Manuel in their battle for second place. I say their battle for second place, working together to either maintain second place or try and extend it and finish one higher. I don't know if it's the stream or if it's just the camera that kind of stutters a little bit going through the tunnel. I will keep an eye on it for the next lap. We'll see it again in about 1 minute and 54 seconds, which is currently the fastest lap by your championship leader. Play Duchy setting the time and will be getting 1 extra point if he keeps it by the end of the race. We haven't got many on-track battles, as per se. We've got close gaps. Everyone's in the same car, so it's all going to be about who can go quicker than the car in front and keeping mistakes to a minimal. Looks like Tiger's doing a better job than Toussaint of closing the gap. It was 1.5 seconds, now 9/10 of a second. Toussaint just dropped a little bit behind his teammate. He's more under pressure from Bonneville. The gap 2.5 tenths. Sorry. They're they kind of started to drop past him now. He's running in 10th place on the super soft tyres. Everyone on the mediums. The mediums are a mandatory tyre, but the super soft, medium and hard are the tyres available for this race weekend. These cars start with 20 laps of fuel, so if you can save fuel, it means you'll have a shorter pit stop. Maybe you can go to the end. Finn's gone a little bit wide. Could have been the opportunity for Topster to get the move done, but decides to stay behind for now. Hits the wall on the outside of the corner, picks up a 5/10 penalty. I think that could be for a barrier collision. Might be track limits as well. We go back up to your race leader. Yeah, there it is. That kind of stutter in the cam is what I'll start. You'll see it with Tim again. Okay, maybe not Tim. What about Topster and Finn? Keep an eye out. We're not going to get it, are we? Yeah, there it is. I don't know if you saw it there. Let's try and change camera angle to the variable one, as it's called in the game. Here goes Manuel now for a move on the inside into the hairpin. I don't think that was orchestrated. I think that was more Tim running a little bit wide and Manuel seeing an opportunity arise. Meanwhile, an opportunity that Tiger might be looking for is to close down that gap to Topster, which is doing quite well, to be honest. He's now 7.5 tenths behind the German, and he's bringing Toussaint along with him. On the downside, though, they're bringing Bonnie and Pierre along with them, two drivers who win the constructors' fight with Tiger and Toussaint. We could be seeing quite a long train from 4th to 9th. You can see it all. You can see all the cars on your screen. There they are: Finn, Topster, Tiger, Toussaint, Bonnie, and Pierre. Aston just in the background. Might be able to capitalise on any mistakes or incidents that could occur in the next few laps. Finn almost taking out our cameraman on the exit of turn 1 as they make their way down the hill through the tunnel under the bridge as they approach the dock section for the 11th time this race. Is anyone going to go for a move? Topster needs to think about one because he's going to be under pressure from Tiger Assassin. Here he goes to the inside. Isn't quite close enough or late enough on the brakes to make it stick. Tiger looking interested in the background. Remember a few laps ago I said earlier he was hungry, he hasn't eaten in days, and he wants a few more positions in this race. Picks up a 5/10 penalty on the exit of turn 5, I think, and towards turn 6 they go. I have no idea what corner numbers, I generally just made that up. 2, 3, 4, could be 5, I think the left hand is 5 if that's the double right-handers count as corners. Well, I don't know. GT Sport has some interesting made-up track corner. How many corners they decide it each configuration is made up of. Tobster with a good run through the tunnel. We're looking to go for a move on Finn, who defends the inside line. Tiger's going to try and send one to the inside of Tobster in the battle for 5th place. Slows it down in time and gets the move done on the exit of the corner. May even try and get Finn as well. They're going to go wheel to wheel up the hill. No, Finn just has it covered to maintain ahead of the Brits, but Tiger is on a charge through the field. He was at one stage down in 9th or 10th place. He's now worked his way up into 5th place. I'm sure everyone behind will be looking for a move as Aston pulls into the pits and puts on a set of what I'm going to guess is the medium tyres. It's super softs again for Aston, so he's still got a pit in this race. Here goes Tiger looking for a move in towards turn 1, but he's not close enough to get it done, or is he? Has another look. The side's better of it. That little jink to the inside might just compromise his running towards turn 2. Having said that, Finn hitting the wall is going to compromise his running towards turn 2. He's now tucks in behind Tiger, who will be under pressure from Tobster. Down the hill they go, through the tunnel, absolutely straight and flat out in towards the dock section. Tiger on the inside there, almost 2 by 2, with Tobster defending the inside to Saint behind. Tiger on the inside gets up into 4th place. Finn just has enough to get ahead of Tobster. Drops down into 5th and 6th place. Toussaint in 7th will be looking to try and make his way up through the field and follow his teammate through. Picks up another 5/10th penalty. Isn't quite safe yet though, because there is another straight to contend with. Looking on board on the rear wings of these cars, you can see the closing speed that Finn has. We know Finn's not one to back out of a move. Is he going to go for anything as they make their way through the tunnel? He pulls up alongside, to the inside, out the outside, for the right-hander, brushes the wall on the outside. I think that's Tobster alongside his fellow German. He may even try and go for the inside of Tiger. There's so much going on as Tobster on the inside of Finn. Tiger goes wide. He's inside Finn as Bonnie Evil Pierre going 3 wide with Tobster in the battle for 7th place as Finn maintains 7th place, and all of that Tobster drops down to 7th, Toussaint up into 6th place, Tiger in 4th somehow. We'll get a replay of that in a second. Hopefully the replay cameras go back enough. Let's ride on board with Bonnie Evil just so we can see exactly what happened. You can see Toussaint trying to go for a move. Oh, Toussaint hit Tobster into Tiger, which is why he went so deep. Bonnie kind of barges his way on the inside of Tobster. There was a lot of contact in that. Feel free to watch it back again to see exactly what happened. We may see a few penalties dished out after all of this. We'll have to wait and see what the stewards make of it. Tobster has lost a lot of time to Toussaint through the final set, so he's under pressure from Bonnie Evil and all that. I'm still not 100% sure what happened. Meanwhile, we'll look up to the battle for 4th place because Toussaint's going down the inside of Finn. This time he slows it down in time. Has he got the grip? He's kind of being impeded by his teammate slightly. He'll be urging him to go a little bit quicker, but gets the move done up into 5th place. Finn's going to fight this one back as Bonnie gets ahead of Tobster. Let's have a replay to see what happened in the battle in the background between these two. Bonnie on the inside. Is this just going to be another one down the inside? Tobster doesn't really fight it all too much. We can't really see what's happening because there's some cargo containers in the way. Through the tunnel they go. Toussaint bump drafting his teammate. That's going to compromise his run in towards the hairpin. Finn's going to be interested in a few moves here. Toussaint maybe on his teammate. Might try and defend the inside line. Pulls over to the inside. Finn's going to have to try and work something around the outside. Can he swoop it around the outside? Can he make this stick? Not quite. I will get to the comment in a second. Beautiful racing here in the battle for 4th place. 5 cars closely together in track. This is exactly what you want to see. Include 6 as Pierre is just joining the back of it in 9th place. Nathan sent you here and he was a smart man for sending you here. Absolutely amazing racing we've had in the first 13 laps of this 30-lap race. We haven't really paid much attention to the top 3 because all the action's happening here for 4th place. Tiger's worked himself from pretty much the back of the grid. He was down in 9th place in the first few laps of this race. Then they got to move on. They started overtaking. And, you've just missed. I went speechless, let's put it that way. To summarise, I think Toussaint hit the back of Topster, who hit the back of Tiger, who then went wide. They were then 3 wide. There was a bit of ghosting as drivers were serving their penalties. Then I think Bonnie tried to go for a gap that was never going to last. I think it was Topster or Manuel who he hit, who almost pincered round, then backed out of it. Then they were 2 wide up the hill. I have no idea. We've got to replay, but yeah, just go back a few laps and then everything will be made clear. Let's just give a brief mention to your championship leader, race leader, pole sitter and fastest lap holder, Play Dutchy, 5.3 seconds ahead of Tim, who's almost 2 seconds clear of Manuel. In the battle for 4th place though, however, it's a different story. One that's almost been written like Shakespeare. It's a romantic tragedy. You love to see the racing, but you just have that feeling that it might not end in the way that you're hoping for. Being into the pits to try and undercut the drivers in front fairly early from the mediums, but could go to the soft compound tyre. Has used the mandatory tyre. That is the mediums. Everyone started this race on the mediums, apart from Aston, who's running in 11th place. He went on to another set of super soft tyre. Still has to pit for the yellow striped medium. I can't remember your name, but if you're... Actually, no, never mind. I was going to say something and then it just went completely over my head. Welcome everyone joining us in the chat. I really haven't really spoken to everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday evening. For those who are at school, firstly stay in school, education's key. Half term though, whoopee. I'm sure everyone in the UK at least will be excited to have a week off. Wherever you're watching this in the world, welcome. Hope everything is okay. I say okay because I know there are some countries, particularly in Europe as well, that might not feel okay. I wonder if anyone's been watching the Winter Olympics as well. I certainly have. The Olympics is just one of those things where you don't usually watch skiing or bobsleighing or curling or whatever, but it's on and you watch it and you get really into it and you watch the whole Olympics, you watch it every day, and then you just don't for the entire year because it's, I don't know. I'm someone who watches like pretty much every single type of sport apart from American football and cricket. Cricket on the final day, only the final days of cricket. Toussaint's into the pits, pulls over, goes wide. Tiger cuts across the pit lane. Turbster goes and does it through. Turbster, blah 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 blah. Let's take 2 steps back and just calm things down a bit. Toussaint into the pits. Topster and Tiger cutting across the pit lane line thing. Thankfully, you can do that on this year's day. I need to get a transcript. Oh, I just need to get like words because they're not. Yeah. If anyone would like to buy me a dictionary for my birthday, don't know if it would help, but because I don't need to know the meaning of words, I just need to get words into my head. Feeling Toussaint, they're going to go wheel to wheel on the pit exit. Finn actually gets ahead of Toussaint. What happened there? Was Toussaint not awake? Let's get a replay. What happened? Because Toussaint's ahead. Finn pitted the lap before, that's why. Duh, he didn't go out of the pit lane exit. I'm so... it's Friday evenings, everyone, am I right? So yeah, Finn pitted the lap before, has now set a new fastest lap of the race on the set of the soft compound tyres, and is now 1.6 seconds behind Tiger Assassin. Under pressure now from Toussaint, he pulls over to the inside. If you no longer go through a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. As Ayrton Senna once said, Toussaint is squeezing himself to the inside. Finn runs wide, leaves Toussaint the room on the inside. And they're still going to go wheel to wheel. Makes a little bit of contact. Toussaint tries to hold it round the outside. Almost brushes the wall. Margins left on the outside of the track. Toussaint now on the inside. Can Finn hold this round the outside? A beautiful move from the German. Sees him up into 8th place. Bonnie's into the pits. I think we need to have another look at that. On board with Toussaint, if you no longer go for the gap that exists, you are no longer a racing driver. There was exactly the width of one of these cars on the inside. And there you can see well on the outside had no right to get this move done. Absolutely crazy stuff. Let's get back to the live action as it's all kicking off once again as drivers make their pit stops. Bon Evil's now in 6th place. Ahead of Finn and Toussaint, so the overcut working well for him. Has everyone gone onto the soft? Not thinking the super soft would go to the end of the race. We have got time 7 tyre wear and there are 14 laps left in this race. I'm saying 14 because Dutchy has technically started. Lap number 17. Not sure what's happened to Tim. He's lost out to Manuel. What happened? I'm trying to look at lap times. Tim's had 2. It could just be the undercut that's worked really well for Manuel. Here goes Tiger Assassin on Aston, trying to do what his teammate done, not doing the best job of it, hitting the wall in the background. We've got Bon Evil and Finn now going wheel to wheel. Toussaint looking to pull over to the inside. Is he going to make it 3 wide? This is the break zone. He's late on the brakes. Rubs alongside Bon Evil, hits Finn as well. Finn on the has to tuck in behind Finn now. He's got nowhere to go with Bonnie and Toussaint going wheel to wheel in front. Hits the wall on the outside. It's all kicking off now in the latter stages of this race. We can get another replay. Bonnie kind of gets forced out of the way. Finn tries to switch back on Bon Evil but couldn't go anywhere because there was an Alpine in the way. Dutchy in and out of the pits on a set of the red stripe soft compound of tyre. Aston doing his best to try and hold up Tiger Assassin for his strategy to work. Tiger goes through up into 4th place. It looks like it's going to get a little bit heated in this battle for 6th place, with Finn going down the inside of Bon Evil. Is he going to go down the inside of Toussaint as well? Not quite. Finn gets himself up into 2nd place, but it's getting a little bit argy-bargy. Thankfully these aren't F1 cars. Otherwise I think a lot more damage would have been done. They're pretty much boat-shaped anyway, so I'm sure a little bit of wheel banging won't cause too much damage. I thought Tiger and Aston would go wheel to wheel through the SS section. Aston might be... I'm trying to think of the best, nicest analogy for this. I think he's going to get gobbled up. Not going to lie. He's on worn super soft tyres and he's got the herd right behind him. He is, however, running in 5th place but still needs the pits again. And he could be making this battle fairly interesting because Finn's going to pull up alongside Toussaint. Toussaint just has the edge to tuck in behind, has the option for the inside line. Bonnie tucks in behind Toussaint slipstream. They're going to go 2 by 2 into the dock section. Aston kind of the need in the haystack, the dark horse in this battle. Keeps ahead of Toussaint, surprisingly. I thought it was going to be a lot more easier for Toussaint to go through, but Aston getting the elbows out, and he's defending, he's fighting for this position. He wants these points. He needs to hold these guys up if his strategy is to work well, and effectively he still needs to pit again. Topster and Pierre now catching up to these guys as well. Finn and Toussaint going wheel to wheel. They tuck back into the slipstream single file as they go through the tunnel for the 18th time. Edge of the seat stuff. 4 cars separated by the length of an iPhone. Toussaint on the inside. I think Bonnie might have hit the wall. Toussaint on the inside trying to cover Finn's contact. Aston trying to work his way round the outside. Finn on the inside. There's a little bit of overtaking whilst cars are ghosting, I think. It's hard to kind of manage that effectively with penalties being served in the game. Aston and Toussaint now going wheel to wheel up the hill in towards the final technical S's section. Toussaint with the grip on the inside gets it done. Can Finn follow him through on the outside? Not quite, because Bon Evil's on the outside. Topster on the inside of Piero in the battle for 9th place. He's got the move done, up an extra position. Bon Evil and Aston now going wheel to wheel in the run down towards turn 1. Aston with the outside. Don't think he's going to be able to defend this too much from the Brit. Finn's going to try and follow Bon Evil through on the inside. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Aston hits the wall on the outside. That's going to compromise his line to Topster, who goes up into 8th place. Here goes Piero now with the slipstream, with the better exit. Which way does he go, left or right? He's not quite there yet. Finn going for a move on Bon Evil. The battle for 6th place. Aston going to the inside of absolutely everyone. He's so late on the brakes. Bon Evil on the inside of Finn. Topster on the inside of Finn now as well. Aston trying to get involved as best he can. Finn on the inside of Topster. What just happened? Aston and Pierre now going well to in the background. Aston still keeping it there on the inside. Pierre is having to go the long way around. Hits the wall on the outside. Aston's like that rain cloud that just turns the race on its head. Has opened up the gaps quite a lot, so in a way, thanks, but no thanks. Absolutely incredible. 1.2 seconds is now 2 seconds advantage. He's held them up so much. Oh, sorry, I had to take quite a long drink after all of that. Let's just see how far the replay goes back for when I stopped it earlier. Look at Aston here, so late on the brakes. It goes from 9th to 6th at turn 2. Look at this, is absolutely incredible stuff. I'm just going to leave this on the screen. I don't think we need to talk over this. Absolutely incredible stuff. Let's get everything back up on the screen. Wow. If you're still here, I think your name was Red Sky. If you're still here, Red Sky, my apologies, I decided to pull out my mic as Topster gets the move down the inside. You know what, we'll get a replay if it goes back far enough. It does. Topster with a nice move on the inside, actually. Gets it done up into 7th place. What I was saying, yes, I hope everyone's... I've lost my train of thought. What's happening? Where are we? What is this? Where am I? Who am I? And what are we doing here? Oh yes, Tokyo Expressway, round 6. Topster in 7th place, defending from Bonnie in 9th, goes to the inside, pulls back over to the racing line as they approach the braking zone. Aston's into the pits off of the super soft. Will probably be going on to the mandatory medium as Ted and Wolfie rounding out the grid in 11th and 12th place. Hello and welcome to everyone tuning in. If you're just tuning in now, you have missed an almighty battle for 5th place. It's absolutely incredible. Nathan was a smart man for sending you here, Red Sky, and I hope you are still here watching us. Because yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, but words kind of just... I just kind of picked random words from the dictionary and said, you know what, we'll use you. Doesn't make sense together, but we'll just... Yeah. Now my brain's not even giving me any words from the dictionary. It has been... It's a Friday evening. I don't know why we do this on a Friday evening. We should do it Monday morning. Ooh, Finn cutting the corner there. He might be gifted a penalty for that. He's compromised his run. Thompson now up alongside and ahead, up into 6th place. He actually didn't get a penalty for that. Just compromised his run and ended up losing the position. Thompson now up into 6th place. Dutchy 8.4 seconds ahead of Finn, 5 seconds ahead of Tim. And the Dutchies have been able to pick up the fastest lap and gain an extra point. If it was to finish as it is now, take home maximum points at the end of this race. Piero and Bonnie going wheel to wheel into the hairpin. Can Piero get himself up into 8th place? He's got a bit wide. It's going to allow Bonnie the inside line, but with the drive on exit, Piero gets to move down and up in towards 8th position. And Tim hits the wall heavily on the outside. No damage for him. Bonnie Evil's got damage though. I'm not sure where he's accumulated that one from. Piero doesn't have damage. Does anyone else have damage? I apologise for flicking through everyone fairly quickly, but I don't think anyone else has got damage. And that front bumper damage is going to cost Bonnie a lot of straight line speed. It may be a few miles per hour, but those miles per hour could be crucial for an overtake or defending a position. Let's put it this way. I think if you've got front bumper damage, if you're in slipstream, your equivalent speed is not when you're not in slipstream without damage. That might not sound like a lot, but you get a lot of extra speed in this slipstream. It could be 5 miles per hour, but crucial. 5 miles per hour is quite a big difference, especially when everyone's in exactly the same car. Speaking of, we know who is in theory the best driver if we all put them in the same car. And well, one of the reasons why we're changing the car every week to see who is the best all-round driver currently is this man Play Dutchy, who is at some point I think led all but one race, which was the race he started last place from. He's won every race. He's finished on the podium. Well, he's won every race but one. He's finished on the podium in every race, and it looks like he's going to make it 6 out of 6 in terms of the number of rounds we've had. 10 out of 10 if you include the no, 9 out of 9 if you include the number of different races we've had, because we had 2 at Lago Maggiore and we had 3 at Sardinia. So then, Tiger Assassin, 1.2 seconds ahead of his teammate, 1.2 seconds ahead of Topster, 1.4 seconds ahead of Finn, 1.6 seconds ahead of Piero. Ted, 1.8 seconds ahead of Aston. The gap is fairly similar across the field. But with 7 laps to go, can anyone find a little bit of extra speed to get the moves done? I'd just like to still say a huge thank you to everyone who has been here from the start of the stream. We've been going for 44 minutes since the race started, add on 18 if you've been here from the start of qualifying. The McLaren livery dropped earlier today. Hope everyone enjoyed that. I absolutely love it, can I just say. But we won't talk about it too much. We are here for GT Sports. Lap 24 out of 30, 7 laps to go. Dutchy leads the field, 10 seconds clear of Manuel in second, with Tim in another strong podium position. Two Saints slowly but surely closing on his teammate. Topster though doing his press, his I'm trying to say best to put the pressure on at the same time, so it came out as press. Doing his press to put the best. I tried changing it, but it didn't work. He'll be trying his best to put the pressure on with only a few laps to go and finish this race in 5th place if he can. Piero ahead of Boneville, who does have the damage. Aston gaining on Ted. Aston on the mediums, fresh mediums. Ted on Warner soft tyres, running in 10th position. Hits the wall on the exit of the final corner. Two Saints closing onto the back of his teammates. If he can get within the slipstream and pull away from Topster, that would help him secure P5. It's not going to be easy though. We know Topster has pace, although I think for Topster, I think he prefers an oversteerier car. We've seen him drive the Nissan GTR, we've seen him drive the Honda and NSX. Those are two oversteery GT3 cars. These Alpines are pretty much on the definition of understeer. But you know, we've got to pick different cars, because it'd be boring to have if I said everyone, I don't know, Porsche GT3 911. I'm not saying it's boring. It doesn't test driver abilities. This is why we're changing it up. 1 week we might be in a car that oversteers, 1 week it could be understeer, it could be a car that has a long 6th gear, so slipstream and overtaking could be quite easy. It could be another one of those Group 2 or Group 1, whatever. We've got Group 2 and Group 1 coming up in the next few weeks. Speaking of, only 3 races left in this championship. We've got 2 races in car classes, we've got 1 fixed. The fixed one is next week. Red Bull Juniors at Autopolis. The first time we're going back to Autopolis since season 2. We haven't been there since. Next up, we've got a new track, Circuit de Saint-Croix A. We've never been to that track in the league. We've been to Saint-Croix B. I considered Saint-Croix C backwards. Never quite made last season's calendar. But it's Saint-Croix A for this season. And then to finish, where else other than Le Mans in old Group 1 cars? Mazda, Jaguar, Mercedes Sauber, Nissan. Beautiful, beautiful cars. What a season finale to end it on. It's going to be absolutely insane. Thompson trying to hunt down 2 cent, the gap 7.5 tenths of a second, and closing in the slipstream. He's doing 170 miles per hour. Where was it? Yeah, 172, and 2 cent is doing 166. That's how much the slipstream has an effect, especially when everyone's in the same car. Thompson now right behind 2 cent. They're both able to serve their penalties at the hairpin. But who's going to finish out on top? We'll have to wait and see. Put your bets in the chat. Tiger, 2 Saints or Topster. Across the line to start lap 26 of 30. Here in Tokyo Expressway, the south inner loop configuration. We could have gone to the south outer loop. We've never done that in a league race before, but we have 5 years at least of GT7 to use all of the tracks, and I mean all of them. I reckon every season we're going to get a new track. Here goes Topster though, to the outside of Toussaint. Here on lap 26, can he make it work around the outside? Toussaint has the inside covered, maintains 5th position for now, but with the laps going down by the second, or specifically every 1 minute and 40 seconds, Topster's running out of time to complete the move. As they make their way through the tunnel for the 26th time tonight. Toussaint parks his car in the middle of the track, so Topster can't have an easy way through, but he's going to try and look for something. Inside, outside, which way is he going to go? It's the outside, right hand side of the screen, left hand side of the track. Can he swoop it round the outside? No, he can't. He's going to try and switch back, go wide, cut in tight, get a good line up the hill in towards the S's section. Looks like Toussaint's done enough to maintain ahead of the German. Toussaint brushes the wall on the outside. It's going to compromise his run in towards turn 1. Is Tobster close enough to go for a move? He's not going to go for anything just yet. Push Toussaint along for now. In towards turn 1. Here we go. Limited laps to go. Tobster's got a good run. You can see a slight different line he's taking to try and get the run. The slingshot in towards turn 2. Toussaint goes over to the right hand side of the track. Defends the inside line. Is it going to be enough though to deny Tobster from going through? Tobster now pulls over to the right hand side, defends the inside line. You can see the flaps at the back extending, but it's not enough to slow down Tobster. He's gone too deep in towards turn 2, and with a switchback move grants Toussaint 5th position once again. Maybe Tobster's feeling the pressure slightly with the laps dying out. With only 3 to go, Dutchy makes his way through the hairpin up the hill to start the final sector. Tim is only a second behind Manuel in the battle for second place. The race is really kicking off here at the end. We kind of had a spark that lit a bonfire. Now fireworks are lighting. Tobster smelling Toussaint's rear wing or rear bumper. There's not really much of a wing. In towards the hairpin. Toussaint defends the inside line, but it's not enough to deny Tobster from sending one on the inside. Can he slow it down in time? He's practically sideways through the corner. Tyre wear could be getting to him. He's got the move done though, up into 5th place. Meanwhile, Finn 8/10 ahead of Manuel 8/10 ahead of Tim. Tobster only a 10.5 ahead of Toussaint. In the battle for 5th place, they're about to start lap 28 of 30. Meanwhile, out in front, not quite out in front because Dutchy, he's almost in another universe. His fuel light, though, crucially, is flashing red. Has he got enough fuel to make it to the end of the race, or will he run out? Meanwhile, Tobster and Toussaint going wheel to wheel down the start-finish straight. Tobster, though, gets ahead, maintains 5th position for now. Finn and Pierre are looking racy in the background as well. Sit back and tight, ladies and gentlemen. Brace yourselves for the final few laps. I hope you've got your popcorn ready, because Toussaint's going for it on the outside of Tobster in towards turn 2. He's not got the move done just yet. Tobster poking a bumper in as they approach the apex. He's gone deep once again. Toussaint with a beautiful switchback. None of them really looks controlling of their car. Tobster now with the inside line becomes the outside line. What a move from the German. We might see penalties for track limits. No, nothing. Tobster now up into 5th place. Meanwhile, Tim and Manuel separated by a 10.5 as they approach the hairpin. Manuel maintaining 2nd place for now. Tobster ahead of Toussaint. Toussaint tucking in the slipstream of Tobster, making their way through the tunnel. Toussaint now with the inside line. Can he find the room to go for it? Tobster tries to defend, but Toussaint's there on the inside. Tobster pulls over wide to try and get a good run. Maybe a switchback move on the exit. There's a little bit of contact between the two. Tobster gets a little bit out of shape on exit. Meanwhile, Pierre and Finn now going wheel to wheel. We're going to replay to see what happened, how Pierre got ahead of Finn to the inside of the hairpin. The Frenchman up into 7th place, and it's a good move to get some more points in the Constructors' Championship. Dutchy starts the penultimate lap of the race with Tim trying to go round the outside of Manuel in towards turn 1. 3 battles on the penultimate lap of the race. If there's time in the chat, let me know who's going to win. Bon Evil into the pits for a set of super softs as Tim pulls alongside Manuel in towards turn 2 on lap 29 of 30. Can Manuel hold it round the outside? But Tim's tyres, I think, are just slightly in better shape, having pitted a lap earlier. Toussaint with a 4/10 advantage. It's going to be coming down with the slipstream, so powerful at this track. Thompson out to the outside. Toussaint's late on the brakes. Was it too late? And Thompson with a beautifully executed switchback gets back up into 5th place. Toussaint's going to try and fight it on the inside. What about Piero and Finn? Finn just doesn't have enough left in the tank. His tyres are shredded compared to Piero's mediums. Piero went on to another set of mediums actually. Most drivers went on to softs. Meanwhile, back up in front in the battle for 2nd place, Tim on Manuel, who sends one to the inside and towards the hairpin. Can he slow it down in time? That wheel to wheel over the curb for Manuel. Tim stays ahead. Topster ahead of Toussaint for how much longer though? Through the tunnel for the 29th time. A beautiful camera angle following the cars in towards the hairpin. Topster hugging the wall on the right hand side, forces Toussaint wide to the outside. But can he get this one done? It's going to be another traditional switchback move, and he's got it done. Up into 5th place. They both get a tank slap or an exit. Topster with a slightly better run up the hill. Can he find the space? Not quite. Tim starts the final lap 6/10 ahead of Manuel, with Toussaint 800ths ahead of Topster, making their way through the tricky technical lessons section for the second and last time tonight. Finn trailing Piero by about 2 or 3 tenths. You can see in the background we focus on the 3 battles in this race. It looks like Play Dutchie's set to get another win. We'll keep an eye on his progress out on track, and if he's got enough fuel to make it to the end, it could be quite close for the Dutchman making it to the end. Tim able to stay ahead of Manuel as they approach the dock section for the final time tonight. Toussaint weaving to break the slipstream. He's moved once, he's moving twice. Toussaint 3.5 tenths ahead of Topster. Has he got enough left in the tank? Literally, has he got enough left in the tank? He's running quite low, and so is Dutchie. Could we see last lap drama with the fuel? Dutchie 16 seconds ahead of Tim. Have they got enough fuel? I don't know if they've got enough fuel. There's not long left now for Play Dutchie before he crosses the line. What about Toussaint? 5 tenths clear of Topster, who's hit the wall. And he's got a poor run through the tunnel. Dutchie, he's got a pixel of fuel. Tim is closing the gap. But he makes his way round the final corner for the final time with an ounce of fuel left in the tank. Play Dutchie flashes his lights. He weaves and wins here in Tokyo Expressway. Meanwhile, Topster and Toussaint go wheel to wheel into the hairpin. Toussaint defends the inside line, but it's gone deep. He's gone deep. He's almost in the pit lane. Toussaint and Topster with a beautiful switchback gets the move done up into 5th place. Has he got it done? There's still wheel to wheel and exit. Tim finishes that in 2nd place though. We keep an eye on the battle for Topster and Toussaint. Tim in 2nd place, Manuel in 3rd, finishing up the podium position as Topster gets ahead of Toussaint going into the final tricky technical section for the final time tonight, and he might just have enough left in him to finish in 5th place. Toussaint might literally just have enough left in the tank to make it to the end of the race. Yellow flags in front. I think that's for someone who span across the line, but it's going to be Topster who just beats Toussaint to the line. 600ths of a second, with Piero in 7th, Finn in 9th, and Bonnie, Finn in 8th, Bonnie in 9th, trying to go for fastest lap of the race with practically no fuel in the car. He's ran out of fuel. He's ran out of fuel in his attempt for the fastest lap, so will not get the fastest lap of the race. Up to the line. It is a 1 minute 53.9. Does improve in his personal best. But we need to go back a few minutes. Let's watch this again. No audio. Enjoy. That was the move that saw Topster finish this race in 5th, as I think the rest of the grid have crossed the line. We're just waiting for Ted and Aston. Ted finishes in 10th place, Aston finishing in 11th to finish what has been an incredible race. The Alpine VGT has proven to be a worthy car for this track, and like I said at the start, it never fails to disappoint. It's the same suit with the same helmet and the same name. Winning once again, Play Duchy takes home another gold trophy to add to his collection of many. And here are your results. Play Duchy wins by 16 seconds to Tim in second and Manuel in third. Tiger in fourth place. Clear or tops it in fifth, who had an outstanding battle with Toussaint in sixth. Piero beating Finn across the line in seventh and eighth with Bonnie in ninth. Ted scoring more points than his teammate in 10th, ahead of Aston in 11th and Wolfie in 12th. Duchy taking home the fastest lap of the race. We'll see him score a maximum of 26 points. And Piero down in 7th place with Tiger and Toussaint in 4th and 6th. I think they are going to extend their championship lead in the team standings. Next week, we're off to Japan. Well, we're staying in Japan, where we're going to be in the Red Bull Juniors for Autopolis. The return of the sprint races, reverse championship grid with a 20-minute race, followed by a 40-minute race, which is however many laps. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed this as much as I have. Make sure to follow the Twitch, subscribe to the YouTube, like and comment down below. Join our Discord if you want to chat to any of the drivers or indeed myself or whatever, get involved, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.